I give Shea credit because the one thing as a superstar you have to do, two people have the most control of a team. The best player and the coach. It's up to the best player to give those guys confidence. It also is important for the coach to give them the freedom to do their thing. So Coach Daniel, is that your name? Dagnall and Shea, man, they do a good job. I love the way they do their interviews together, but when you're a star, you have to give those guys air.
Charles Barkley grabbed the microphone, stared straight into the camera, and absolutely fried the Lakers on live TV. No mercy at all. No trying to soften the blow for Lakers fans watching at home either. Cowboy boots, bold predictions, Sandman dance moves, the entire performance package was on full display. The Lakers got completely worked in Oklahoma City, and Chuck made sure everybody watching knew exactly how ugly it looked. Now, the real question is, was Chuck right to roast the Lakers this hard, or did he go a little overboard given that the series technically still isn't finished? And be honest, how many of y'all low-key enjoyed every second of him doing it on national television?
Wait, I don't think we've seen anything we didn't expect. We said, hey, maybe the Lakers could win a game, but this team here, man, they've been, even though they didn't win the championship that first year, they've had the best record 3 years in a row.
Number one seed in the West 3 years.
Yes, I mean, so they have been, and now their confidence is through.
Inside the NBA seriously does not get enough credit for turning basketball coverage into a full-blown comedy roast half the time. Most nights, people tune in expecting highlights, breakdowns, and analysis. Then there are those nights where Charles Barkley walks into the studio and turns the entire postgame show into a stand-up routine aimed directly at whichever team got embarrassed. And listen, the Lakers volunteered for that role after Game 2 against the Thunder, and Chuck wasted absolutely no time cashing in on it. The setup was pretty simple. The Thunder beat the Lakers by 18 points in Game 2. Now the series is 2-0. Oklahoma City is rolling right now. Meanwhile, the Lakers look like a team still trying to find the gym entrance. The studio crew came into that segment with the kind of energy where you instantly knew they had been waiting all night to clown somebody. Ernie Johnson tried to keep everything professional and under control. Chuck wanted absolutely no part of being calm.
Chuck, you know what they say in a time like this.
Get the cowboy boots ready, we're going to Oklahoma City?
No.
That's what they should be saying.
Well, they just tased Ryan. This ball game is over.
They just tased Ryan.
131.
Hey, King. I wanted to do that tonight, and Ernie wouldn't let me.
Oh, come on, you're better.
His opening line pretty much told everybody exactly where the segment was headed. Get the cowboy boots ready, we're going to Oklahoma City. That was it right there. That was the cold open. He looked straight into the camera, casually predicted a sweep, and just waited for the rest of the crew to catch up to the joke. Ernie tried pushing back a little on the way Chuck framed it. Chuck didn't slow it down at all. He made it crystal clear to everybody watching at home that the Cowboys line was exactly how Lakers fans should be feeling right now, because this series looks headed toward a quick exit and a very long offseason. Then, somehow, the segment got even funnier. The crew started clowning Chuck about wanting to bring back his old Kabuya celebration. Ernie apparently told him backstage not to do it during the broadcast. Chuck still brought it up live on air anyway. He admitted he wanted to hit the Kabuya call after watching the Lakers lose. He also admitted Ernie basically had to stop him from doing it. Then Chuck ended up giving a partial version of it anyway, because let's be honest, following directions has never really been his thing and probably never will be. The people in the studio were cracking up. The audience watching at home was laughing too. Now, Lakers fans probably weren't laughing at all, but everybody else watching was absolutely enjoying the show.
Come on, Chuck, they getting swept? Come on, babe.
I think that's what that means, Kenny.
Sandman, you gotta do the Sandman dance. Hey, I'm just getting a head start. We're gonna be off another day next week.
Is that happening tomorrow too?
Oh, in Philly? Oh yeah. The Knicks are gonna wrap it up for my boys tomorrow. And listen, I'm so sick. Al Palagonia Spike Lee, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan, all them hoodlums coming down to Philly making all that damn racket. Come on, Joel, rise up.
Rise up.
Come on, rise up, Philly. We can't get swept.
Chuck then piled on, mocking the eventual Knicks-Sixers result on top of everything else. He even took shots at the celebrity crowd sitting courtside. Al Pacino, Spike Lee, Timothée Chalamet, Ben Stiller, Tracy Morgan. He was naming them one by one, like he was reading out a full suspect lineup. Then, he started calling them hoodlums for showing up in Philadelphia, making a loud scene and causing chaos. He even did that whole dramatic bit, begging Joel Embiid to rise already. And you could tell he was completely over all the non-stop celebrity attention around the series. Chuck was rolling at that point. He was loose, comfortable, and completely in his bag. And when Charles Barkley gets into full Barkley mode, you already know nothing is off limits and absolutely no team is safe.
Oh, I don't think we've seen anything we didn't expect. We said, hey, maybe the Lakers could win a game, but this team here, man, they've been, even though they didn't win the championship that first year, they've had the best record 3 years in a row.
#1 seed in the West 3.
Yes, I mean, so they have been, and now their confidence is through.
The Lakers segment was definitely the main event, though. The way Chuck roasted them had layers. He went to the team, he went to the legacy, he went to the fan base. He even went at the way they got completely dismantled in Oklahoma City. And somehow, he still managed to give the Thunder real credit at the same time, which honestly made the whole thing sting even worse, because genuine praise for the other team is the hardest thing for fans to sit through. Now, underneath all the jokes, Chuck was actually making a serious basketball point about Oklahoma City. He pointed out that the Thunder are now in their 3rd straight year as the #1 seed in the West, 3 consecutive seasons with the best record in the conference. That's not luck. That's not some random hot streak. That's sustained dominance from a young team that's been building itself up one level at a time. Even though they didn't win a title during their first year as the top seed, they've still been the most consistent team in the conference. And that kind of consistency builds confidence. Confidence shows up during playoff basketball. Confidence is what allows a team to beat the Lakers by 18 at home and act like it was just another regular night at the office. Chuck specifically credited Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and head coach Mark Daigneault for how they've handled that locker room. Now, Chuck briefly forgot the coach's last name during the segment, and Kenny had to jump in and save him. But honestly, that's part of the inside the NBA experience too. Hall of Famers forgetting names in the middle of a sentence and getting rescued by the rest of the crew. Once they got the names sorted out, Chuck made his bigger point. The 2 most important people behind any successful basketball team are the superstar player and the head coach. And honestly, that applies at every level of basketball. The superstar sets the tone, the coach creates the structure. Everybody else follows the energy those 2 bring into the building. Chuck's argument was basically that Shai does exactly what a superstar is supposed to do. He empowers his teammates, he gives them confidence to play freely, he makes role players feel important, and when things go right, he spreads the credit around. That's what the truly great players do. Average stars try to take all the praise while dodging all the blame. Great stars understand they're already going to get the credit anyway, so they spend their public moments uplifting everybody around them. Shai checks every one of those boxes. He does interviews standing next to his coach. He talks about his teammates by name. He spreads attention around the same way he moves the basketball. And because of that, you end up with a roster full of confident role players who aren't scared of the spotlight. Now, when you look at the Lakers, the culture honestly doesn't feel the same. The Lakers have a superstar who spent a good chunk of the last couple of weeks complaining about officiating. The Lakers also have a head coach publicly saying the whistle has been unfair to their star player. So not only are the Lakers losing on the scoreboard, they're losing the composure battle too. Now, Chuck never flat out said all of that. He really didn't have to. The difference between the way he talked about Thunder leadership compared to the Lakers situation basically told the whole story by itself.
One team is led by a superstar who builds up everyone around them. The other team is being led by a superstar who spends half the game yelling at referees by the third quarter. Chuck also started talking about all the role players the Thunder have built around Shai. Guys like Aaron Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, and Jalen Williams are coming off the bench. The way Oklahoma City has built its depth is honestly one of the best front office stories we've seen over the last few years. Most contenders are extremely top-heavy. Most playoff teams rely on 2 or 3 stars playing 40-plus minutes and just hope nothing falls apart. But the Thunder look legitimately 18 players deep with usable rotation pieces. They can throw almost any lineup combination on the court and still feel confident. And that depth is showing up against the Lakers in real time. The Lakers simply cannot keep up with the Thunder bench. Oklahoma City can literally win stretches of games off its bench unit alone. Then Chuck circled right back to the celebration stuff because, let's be honest, he couldn't help himself. The Sandman dance got brought up again. Back at the Apollo Theater, they used to have the Sandman sweep bad performers off stage, and the basketball version of that has basically turned into its own running joke whenever a team gets embarrassed in the playoffs. Down 2-0 with the sweep starting to feel real, the Sandman was basically stretching on the sidelines waiting to check in. Chuck actually started dancing on camera. He said he wanted to get an early start because the show would be off for a few days the following week and he needed to get his celebration content in while he had the opportunity. The entire studio completely lost it. And honestly, the craziest part was this happening on national television right after a Lakers playoff game while one of the biggest stars in basketball was probably sitting somewhere in Los Angeles watching all of it happen. There's really no media protection for the Lakers right now. The biggest sports show on cable just spent multiple segments openly laughing at them. Not breaking them down, laughing at them. And there's a major difference between those two things. Analysis still leaves room for optimism. Laughter usually means everybody already thinks the outcome is decided, and now all that's left are the jokes. The even funnier part is that Chuck has been calling this matchup correctly for weeks now. He picked the Thunder from the beginning, then he kept doubling down on the Thunder. He kept telling anyone who would listen that the Lakers were not built to handle this kind of opponent. The roster construction wasn't right, the defensive personnel didn't match up well enough, and the speed Oklahoma City plays with was eventually going to expose the Lakers in ways the regular season never fully showed. And honestly, he ended up being right. Now he gets to dance around and celebrate because of it. That's the part most national TV analysts never actually earn. The right to celebrate a take that most of the audience thought sounded too harsh when he first said it. Compare what Chuck does when inside the NBA to what most sports networks usually give you during playoff coverage. Most networks send analysts out there to deliver safe, polished takes that protect relationships with superstar players. Most networks basically have unspoken rules about how critical you can really be toward a top 5 player in the league. Most networks would never allow a host to open a segment predicting a sweep with jokes about cowboy boots attached. And most networks definitely wouldn't let somebody start doing the Sandman dance during an active playoff series. TNT lets Chuck get away with it all because Chuck is basically the engine that drives the entire show. The whole format works because everybody in that studio already understands the normal rules simply don't apply to him. Now, Lakers fans watching at home are honestly in a brutal situation. Their team got blown out.
Their superstar spent the night arguing with referees and even going back and forth with a courtside fan. Their head coach picked up a technical foul. The roster looks completely outmatched, and now the national broadcast is using their playoff loss as comedy material. The next game is also the final home game before potentially heading back to Oklahoma City facing elimination. There really are no easy outs left here. There are no excuses left either. Chuck saw it all unfold and gave the audience exactly what they needed to laugh through the chaos. Now, the 41-year-old version of LeBron James is the part of this story that Chuck never directly attacked, but the implication was obviously there. For years, the argument has always been that LeBron's longevity was the ultimate cheat code in every basketball debate.
But now that the longevity argument is being tested in real time, the 41-year-old version of LeBron is taking 18 shots, getting 4 free throws, arguing with officials, and watching his team lose by 18 points. The longevity is still impressive, but the dominance that once came with it clearly isn't the same anymore. And honestly, this is what an extended NBA career can start looking like during the postseason at 41 years old. The resume is legendary, but the body itself is now beginning to send different messages. The Lakers also have a coaching situation that's going to become a much louder conversation if this series ends 4-0 or even 4-1. JJ Redick was brought in as the flashy offseason hire who was supposed to bring modern offense, fresh ideas, and a championship mindset. But through 2 games in round 2, the offense looks disorganized, the defense is breaking down constantly, and the head coach already picked up a technical foul arguing with officials in game 2. Those aren't exactly the receipts a first-year coach wants attached to his playoff debut. Chuck and the rest of the studio crew didn't directly bury Redick during the segment, but the message was definitely sitting there underneath everything. The Thunder coach looks like he's empowering his team. The Lakers coach looks like he's fighting the refs. And honestly, that contrast tells the whole story by itself. Another part of Chuck's segment that really stood out was what he said about playoff confidence. Confidence in the postseason doesn't come from one big win. It comes from sustained success over multiple years. The Thunder built theirs over 3 straight seasons as the top seed. They lost early one year, then they came back stronger the next season. Now they look like a team handling every playoff moment with the calmness of a group that's already survived the hard parts before. The Lakers just don't have that same institutional memory right now. This Lakers roster has been reshuffled time and again over the last couple of seasons. They really haven't had 3 straight years of stability. They've had only constant changes and roster turnover. And that kind of inconsistency always shows up once playoff pressure hits. The Thunder make the smart basketball play, while the Lakers end up making the emotional reaction. That's the real difference between these two teams right now. Chuck's segment also acknowledged that the Lakers have been fading from the Western Conference spotlight during major playoff moments for a while now. Sure, the team has had highlights here and there during the regular season, but they haven't delivered the kind of postseason runs that actually match the non-stop media attention they receive.
And honestly, there's a real conversation to be had about whether this franchise has been carried more by media hype than actual playoff success over the last few years. Chuck is one of the only people on national television willing to say that in a way fans can actually feel. The online reaction was massive too. Clips of the Sandman dance clip ended up getting reposted by basically every major sports account online. Even the moments of Ernie Johnson trying to calm Chuck down became their own meme wave on social media. Lakers fans were furious all through the comment sections. Thunder fans were celebrating all through the comment sections. And neutral NBA fans were mostly just sitting back, laughing at everything. That's the inside the NBA effect happening in real time. That show controls the basketball conversation more than any other sports studio program. That's the breakdown. Hit the like button if Chuck's roast had you crying laughing tonight. Subscribe so the next breakdown pops right into your feed. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know if the Lakers steal a game or if this series ends in a clean sweep. Inside the NBA brought the fire, and the Lakers unfortunately brought the material. Catch y'all next time.